Godzilla has been wrecking cities and saving humanity, depending on how he feels, since 1954. And now with Godzilla vs. Kong hitting screens, IGN's Godzilla superfans put our heads together to come up with our favorite movies in the series, from the 1954 original to some of the most recent entries in the canon. Whether you're a Godzilla diehard with a ranking of your own, or a newbie to the Japanese genre icon who wants to know where to start with the King of the Monsters, this list is for you. We all come to Godzilla movies looking for one thing above all others: monster mash madness. Godzilla vs. Destoroyah certainly delivers on that front. Like pretty much all movies in the franchise, there's also a little ecological bent as Godzilla transforms into the ultra-sick burning Godzilla due to an explosion of uranium. He's not the only creature who's been transformed by the mistakes of humans though, as Destoroyah is made up of mutated crustaceans who were changed by the oxygen destroyer used in the original Godzilla movie. Basically, humans are bad, but cool monsters fighting each other is good, and this is a great example of both. Sparking off Godzilla's Millennium era, this is a sci-fi soft reboot that acts as a sequel to the original movie. Though it erases all other continuity, it definitely owes a debt to invasion of Astro-Monster as the titular terror faces down against an ancient UFO. A great example of just how well Godzilla movies age, this is still a total riot and looks awesome despite being over 20 years old. And pre-Shin Godzilla, this is definitely one of the monster's most fearsome iterations. One of the most fun movies in Godzilla canon, Final Wars sets up the ultimate global smackdown. When the Exilians teleport all monsters into space to protect Earth, suspicions are rightfully sparked, and what begins as an interplanetary peace treaty turns into an all-out kaiju battle royale. This flick also features one of the most hilarious meta moments of any Godzilla film when the original creature is pitted against Zilla, the CGI creation from Hollywood's 1998 movie. The real deal quickly dispatches him, utilizing the spiked domes of the Sydney Opera House. We believe that's called justice. If you're looking for some all-out monster madness, then look no further. Despite the fact that the film establishes a status quo where all the monsters have been captured and secluded on so-called Monsterland, the creatures get unleashed on the previously peaceful world thanks to some extraterrestrial shenanigans. Destroy All Monsters features some of Toho's most famed kaiju, including Godzilla, King Ghidorah, Rodan, Mothra, Anguirus, and even Godzilla's cute chill baby named Manila. So come one, come all for some seriously awesome kaiju action. This fantastical entry in Godzilla canon rewrites the history of the creature, instead imagining that he was a dinosaur discovered by World War II soldiers and mutated by radiation. And that's not even the wildest part of this time travel heavy entry, which takes place over multiple years as humans reckon with the impact of Godzilla and his monstrous friends. Harking back to the anti-nuclear messaging of the original, this is a mashup of both the moral storytelling which inspired Godzilla and the popular science fiction and fantasy movies that were shaping cinema at the time. If Godzilla is king of the monsters, then Mothra is undoubtedly the queen. While her debut in the 60s is a classic, we adore this 90s entry in this series. Harking back to the older eras of the franchise, this is family-focused fun that centers on Mothra and an ancient creature known as Batra, as the pair must team up to defeat Godzilla. This is a great example of the adventurous spirit at the heart of some of the best Godzilla movies, and showcases the power of Mothra at her best. This dark reimagining and soft reboot of the classic Godzilla story is the most obviously horror-influenced and is all the more effective for it. It would likely be higher up on our list if it wasn't for the fact that this was the first Japanese Godzilla movie to replace suits with CGI. While it makes for a scarier monster, it's missing some of that iconic cheesy charm. Story-wise though, this is a great bit of social satire, taking aim at bumbling bureaucracy and the Japanese government that struggles to deal with the horrific creature before them. Also, anime fans might appreciate that it's written and co-directed by Neon Genesis Evangelion creator Hideaki Anno, and even reuses some of the music from that beloved Mecha vs. Monster series. Speaking of mecha, Mechagodzilla might be one of the coolest movie monsters of all time, and certainly one of Toho's most iconic creature designs, so how could we not have this awesome entry in our top 3? When Godzilla goes on a rampage attacking small villages and his own monstrous allies, the world is thrown into terror. But, spoiler alert, it's actually a robot version of Godzilla known as Mechagodzilla. Of course, the real Godzilla has to battle his new foe, and so one of the great Godzilla antagonists was born. This one seems like it might be a big influence on Godzilla vs. Kong too, so if you want to get the jump on what's going on there, check this one out. King Ghidorah. While all Godzilla movies are science fiction, none lean in as hard as the 6th entry in the franchise. This is a truly wild deep space adventure as we meet the humanoid aliens known as the Exilians. It's amazing to see how much the Godzilla series shifted in just a decade, but this is such a fun movie it's hard for it not to be one of our faves. Without spoiling its secrets, just know you get Godzilla, Rodan, and Ghidorah, as well as plenty of interplanetary war and politics. It's hard to overstate the impact of this stunning black and white sci-fi masterpiece. While many of the other movies on our list are over the top or even campy, the original Godzilla is a pared-back parable about the dangers of nuclear power. Not only is it beautifully shot and impeccably well told, but it's a moving and thoughtful feature that is surprisingly somber. If you want to really know what Godzilla is all about, then make sure to check out the original Japanese cut of the 1954 monster movie. This is the kind of searing sci-fi we could all use more of. And aside from all its gravitas and greatness, it introduced us to Godzilla, one of the greatest movie monsters of all time. So what does your top 10 Godzilla movies list look like? Let's discuss in the comments, and be sure to check out why Kong is so big in Godzilla vs. Kong, as well as our theories on why the Big G might be acting the way he is in the film, and of course, like and subscribe to IGN on your platform of choice.